Wow, what a great day we're having here. I'm in Northern California at my home. I wasn't able to make it to be with you today. It's a great day where you are too. Indoors, celebrating the life and spirit that my mother, Ruth Lyness, shared with you. I hope that we, and that means you, can keep sharing that spirit. That's exactly what Mom wanted for you. Mom was 103 years old. Last Thursday, 2 days ago, she would have turned 104. She was looking forward to that. She figured it meant a party. She liked parties. In the last few years, especially around her 100th birthday 4 years ago, many interviewers asked Mom about her secret for long life. There's not much to it, she said to them. Just keep going. Get up every morning, put your feet on the ground and move. Wherever it takes you, that's life. She could have said her secret to living was her faith in God and Jesus Christ. She was very quiet about her beliefs until somebody asked her about him. But that faith was simple and constant. She simply believed. Or she could have said a secret to her long life was the nearby presence of most of her large family. That meant the world to Mom. Remarkably, all of my siblings and their second and third generations make their homes near here. But unfortunately, that wasn't me. When I left home for IU 57 years ago, I never came back except for visits. I'm a journalist and I had to follow job opportunities. Once we reached the Golden State, Beth and I were married and we began having children. And we just stayed here. I stayed in touch with Mom on a phone call, sometimes even a video call, at about noon every day, 365 days a year. Sometimes it was 15 minutes, sometimes it would last more than an hour. On most days, that worked great. Beth was Beth Lute when we first met back in the 60s at Elskin and First Methodist. We finally got back together and married in 1981. Now we have managed that magical flip where the children we raised are taking care of us. That's Sarah, Max, and Kate, all in their 40s now. The rest of my sisters and brother eventually came home after school and settled nearby. Christine Ann married Mike Prohl, and they bought a home in the country. They raised horses. Karen Elizabeth stayed mostly at home and eventually bought her own home in Edgewood. She adopted Mom as her roommate after Dad died, and Mom sold our forever home in Long Beach. David Craig, our youngest, married Roxanne Baranowski. They also bought a home in the country. And then you might have noticed I skipped over my kid sister, Catherine Sue. Her story has a few more details. She married Bob Lee from New York and bought a beautiful 3-story Victorian home on Washington Street. They raised Bobby and Stephanie there. Bobby married Mandy Fries, and they gave Mom their first great-grandchild, Cecilia, and later Owen. Stephanie married Marcus Seifert, and they have Kate, Phil, and Davy. Mom saw all of them, or us, sometimes several times a week. She loved us all dearly, and we all still love her. No, I mean we really love her. It was no cliche. Not just a love you at the end of a call. Holidays often meant gatherings of all of us in one place. My sisters and brother take turn hosting. I'm sure Mom would tell you She got several extra years specifically from having family close. Family was very important to her. Mom's ability to express her special passions also certainly added years to her life. She was an artist with a degree in fine arts from IU. Originally, she thought she might pursue a pre-med degree. But as soon as she met a cadaver, things changed. That afternoon, she changed her major to art. Early in her life, Mom often taught private art lessons to adults, usually women. But her passion was set free in 1967 when she was hired to teach art at Krieger Junior High School. Her work with those young teenagers allowed her to harness her artistic training and talents while setting free her enormous creativity. But the passion she used even more frequently than her art was her love of music, and especially singing. Mom was always a member of the choir in every church she ever attended. In Michigan City, she also occasionally sang with the Sweet Adelines Chorus, a counterpart to Dad's barbershop quartet and choruses. And she sang with various community choruses, even including a couple for the Miss Indiana pageant. But her beautiful voice really came into flower in the front seat of many a station wagon. Any car trip of any length, especially on the way home from somewhere, with 7 of us packed into 3 rows of old bench-style seats, was sufficient inspiration for outbursts in song. Folk songs, school songs, show tunes, songs from the campfire, but most especially traditional old Methodist hymns that we all knew by heart. In the last hours of her life, Mom lay in her hospital bed with Karen by her side. Together, they quietly sang many of Mom's favorite hymns, until eventually Mom didn't have the breath to continue. In the Garden was one of her favorites. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. Knowing how she felt about that lyric in particular, I'd like to think Mom has found herself right there.
Calling you to say